Sometimes, the people who give us life are the ones who never expected anything in return. She thought she was just saving a life. She didn't know that the man on that hospital bed would change hers forever. I don't even know his name, but I can't just watch him die. Emily Carter, at 27, worked as a nurse at St. Mary's Medical Center in Seattle. Life hadn't been kind to her. She lost her mother young, and her father's heart attack left her with hospital bills that never seemed to end. She worked double shifts, rarely slept, and carried the weight of her younger brother's college dreams on her tired shoulders. One night, during a heavy downpour, an emergency call came through. A man in his late 30s was rushed in, unconscious, pale, dying. His file read Nathan Cole. His kidneys were failing fast. The doctors said he wouldn't make it without a transplant, and soon. No family had come. No donors matched. Time was running out. Emily stood by his bedside that night, watching the faint blip of his heart monitor. Something about his quiet, lifeless stillness pulled at her soul. As she'd thought of her father, how helpless she'd felt watching him fade. The next morning, Emily made a decision that stunned her colleagues. She walked into the transplant unit and said, "Test me. If I'm a match, I'll do it." Her supervisor tried to reason with her. "Emily, you don't even know this man. What if something goes wrong?" But she only smiled faintly. "Then at least I'll know I tried." A few days later, the results came back. She was a perfect match. The surgery went smoothly. Both survived. Emily refused any recognition. She left a single note for the doctors. "Tell him a stranger believed his life was worth saving." She went back to her daily grind. Tired, sore, but quietly proud. She had no idea that the man she saved was not just any patient, but one of the wealthiest, loneliest men in the city. When Nathan Cole woke up, he was told that a stranger, a young nurse, had given him her kidney. No name, no details, just an anonymous donor. But Nathan was not an ordinary man. He was the founder and CEO of Cole Industries, a billion-dollar tech company. On paper, he had it all: money, power, fame. But behind the luxury, his life was empty. His wife had passed away years ago, and his only son lived abroad, barely speaking to him. His wealth couldn't fill the silence of his mansion. Learning that a stranger had risked her life to save his, it shook something inside him. He couldn't stop thinking about her. Who would do that, and why? He quietly instructed his assistant to find her. Weeks passed before he finally learned her name, Emily Carter. But instead of reaching out as a billionaire, Nathan wanted to meet her as a man, the man whose life she'd given back. He started volunteering at the same hospital, dressed simply, introducing himself as Nathan, a recovery volunteer. That's how he met her, in the hospital garden, helping an elderly patient. "You're new here," Emily said with a soft smile. "Yeah," he replied, "just trying to give back a little." Over time, their paths crossed again and again. He joined her on rounds, shared lunches, and laughed with her in the break room. Emily found him humble, kind, almost too gentle for a man she thought was just a volunteer. Nathan found in her something priceless: sincerity. But one day, Nathan saw her crying quietly in a corner of the cafeteria. Her brother had dropped out of college. She couldn't pay his tuition. Her landlord was threatening eviction. She'd given her health, her time, even her kidney, and still, life seemed cruel. That night, Nathan couldn't sleep. The next morning, he made a decision. A week later, Emily received a letter from the Cole Foundation, awarding her brother a full college scholarship, granting her family a new apartment, and offering Emily a senior nursing position at the company's private hospital. She was speechless. "There must be some mistake," she whispered. "Why would they do this for me?" That evening, Nathan appeared in her hospital ward, no longer in his simple clothes, but in a tailored suit that reflected who he truly was. "Because," he said softly, stepping closer, "you gave me life when you didn't even know who I was. I just wanted the chance to return the gift." Emily froze. The realization hit her like lightning. Nathan Cole, the man she'd saved. The CEO whose name she'd seen on the charts that night. Her eyes filled with tears. "I didn't do it for money," she whispered. "I know," he replied. "That's exactly why I wanted to find you." They stood in silence, two souls bound not by fate but by gratitude, courage, and a quiet kind of love. Months later, the headline read, "Tech CEO Nathan Cole marries the nurse who saved his life." A love story money couldn't buy. But the real story wasn't about marriage or wealth. It was about two people who healed each other, one through compassion, the other through redemption. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can change two lives forever. Because when you give without expecting, life finds its way to give back.